Hi there, thank you for joining my channel. Today we're going to make this really nice digital New Year greeting because it's almost 2020 and you can share it on social media with your family and friends. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's start with a new composition. Make it 1920 1080 and around 15 seconds. Now we'll create a new solid and name it sky background. I will make it twice the size of the composition, so we'll lock the aspect ratio and then click the width and type ×2. Oh, and we'll also make it white and then press OK. So we'll add the CC starburst effect. And in the effect controls, we'll change the size to 40 and the speed to 0.01. Now make sure you're in the first frame, select the background and press R for rotation, then press the stopwatch, go forward to the end of the composition and make it -45. Now we'll make a new solid and call it sky, and this one we'll make black and the composition size. On the sky background, we'll place this one below the sky background and add a gradient ramp effect. I will change the end color to something dark purple. And I will make the opacity of the background around 40%. The shortcut for opacity isn't O, which you would expect, it's T for transparency. So press T and then change it to 40. Now we're going to select both layers and pre-compose them. And we'll call it background. Now we'll hide the background and create a new solid layer, which we'll call fireworks. And here we will add the CC particle systems too. So in effects and presets, search for CC particle systems 2, double click. And we're going to change a couple of things. So we'll set the birth rate to 20. And in the physics, we'll change the gravity to 0. So they won't fall down. And then we go to the first keyframe. Click the stopwatch on birth rate to create a keyframe. And then go forward around 2 frames by holding the Control or Command key and pressing the arrow key twice, so you have 2 frames forward. And there we will set the birth rate to 0. Now we will also change the longevity to 10 and the velocity to 0.5. And also the resistance to 15. Now we're going to duplicate this layer, so Control or Command D, and if you press the Enter key you can rename it, and we'll make it Fireworks Big. And here we will change the particle to star and the bird size to 0.05 and the dead size to 0.01. Now we'll select both layers and duplicate, so Ctrl D, Command D, drag them on top of the original layers. Then we'll select the first two layers, which we just duplicated, and we will pre-compose them and call it Fireworks. Now we duplicated them because we're making another type of fireworks. We're going to make a fireworks with a sort of trail. So select the first fireworks layer again and duplicate once more. Now this one we will name Fireworks Trail. And we will change a couple of things. So we'll first click the stopwatch for birth rate to disable the keyframes. So we don't have any keyframes now on this layer, and we'll change the birth rate to 0.4 and then click the stopwatch again to make a keyframe for the new birth rate. Then we will change the longevity to 2. And we'll change the radius X to 0.2 and the radius Y to 0. Now in the physics we will change the animation to vortex, and the particle type should be line. Yes, okay. So we're going to go to the last keyframe and I think about 1 second, and we'll change the birth rate to 0. Now we will create a new null layer, so new null object, and we will use this null object to create the path for our fireworks trail. Now select the pen behind tool and drag the anchor point in the middle. Hide all the firework layers except for the trail. Take the selection tool and place the null layer where you want the fireworks trail to start. Now we're going to make all the fireworks follow the null layer. So select the fireworks trail layer, then first select the null layer again, press P to see the position, select the fireworks trail, and then Alt or Option click the position, take the pick whip tool and drag it on top of the position of the null layer. And this we're also going to do for the fireworks big. So in the producer, Alt or Option click position and pick whip it to the null layer. And once more for the fireworks, same thing, Alt Option click position and pick whip to the null layer. So now everything should follow our null layer. So for the null layer, we're going to the first frame, then make a keyframe on the position, and then go about 1 second further and replace your no somewhere higher, somewhere like this, and it automatically creates a keyframe. Now we'll make these ones visible again and drag the layers further. So let's see. We'll select these ones and drag the layer further so it starts a bit later than the line. Like this, you get an explosion after the trail. Okay, now we're going to select these 4 layers and pre-compose them. And we'll call them fireworks trail. Now we're going to hide this layer also and create a new solid. And this one we'll call text reveal. We'll add the CC Particle Systems 2 effect. And here we'll change a couple of things. So the particle, we will make a shaded and faded sphere. The bird size will change to 0.03 and the dead size to 0.01. The birth rate will be 200, and in physics we'll change the velocity to 0 and the gravity to 0. Now in the producer tab we'll make the X radius 60 and the Y radius also 60, and if you go further a couple of frames you can see what that does. Now we're going to pre-compose this one as well. Just call it text reveal and make sure you click the move all attributes. And now we are going to go to the text tool and click anywhere you want, and here we will type Happy New Year. Okay, now we will choose a new font type. So for the happy, I think this one might look nice. And then I'm actually going to make it 2 text layers to make it a bit easier. So we have the happy, we'll duplicate it, and here we'll make it New Year, and then we'll just drag it below happy. So happy can be a bit bigger also. We'll take the engravers and around, I think. And then also a bit bigger, around maybe 300 pixels of the composition. 100. We're going to pre-compose our text. Let's just call it text. And then we will change the track matte for the text reveal to alpha matte. That way it's only visible within the text layer. We're going to add some effects. So in the effects and presets, let's search for glow. Let's also add the hue and saturation. And let's turn on visibility of all the layers. So for the text reveal, we're going to change the color, in which you can do with the master hue. I'm looking for something bluish, something like this, and also the master lightness a bit brighter. And for the glow, yes, radius of 10 should be okay. For the fireworks, we will also add the hue saturation for both of them, and we'll also add the glow. Also both of them. Now we're going to make them the same color as the text. So the text at 137, which will also change here. Now the reveal layer, we will add a bit further in the composition, so around maybe 1.5 seconds. Now the text and text reveal we pre-compose again and call it text. And then we'll change the blending mode to screen. And we'll duplicate this layer also. And then on the first layer we will add a CC radio false blur. And the blur for this text layer, change the amount to 25, and then we'll make the text visible so we'll see what we're doing. So it gives these nice blurry lines. Now we're going to duplicate both the fireworks layer and the fireworks trail layer so that it completely overlaps the text. So we'll start with the fireworks. So duplicate, and then we'll move the position a bit. Then we'll also change the size, scale a bit. So press S to enter the scale. Make them a bit smaller. So just randomly, whichever looks good. Move them around. And then we're also going to make them appear a bit later, so it's more randomly placed. And then the same for the fireworks trail. So we're also duplicating it. And we're going to tweak the rotation a bit. And position. For position you can press P. So that they more or less come from the same starting point, and then we'll also move these a bit. And we'll duplicate them again. Drag them on top of the other fireworks trails and then move them to the other side of the composition. And we can also change the position a bit. So just play around a bit until it looks the way you would want it. Also with the rotation. I'll put this on half so it's easier to preview. This one, no, not that one. And the position also. Okay. And now we have our Happy New Year reveal. You can play around with the timing of the fireworks, when they are visible and when they're not. But this looks good for me. So now the only thing that's left is to make it a bit more easier to see what is what. We're going to pre-compose the fireworks layers. To keep it neat, and then this one also. And our composition is finished. All that's left is rendering, so composition, add to Adobe Media Encoder Queue. And then change the name or the map if you like, and press Start Queue. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like it if you liked the video. Hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want to see more. So for now, happy holidays and hope to see you next time.